What's up, YouTube? Devin Midrow here. Back at you again with video 43, most likely. Yeah, so I'm actually going a different path today. I'm going to an event with high hopes that I will connect with the right people and form new business relationships, right? And you know what's really interesting, and this is the first time I've ever done a sales job, right? Been in a sales position, and it's something that I've always, well, not always, I shouldn't say always, in the past years since I've been looking at sales, right, and understanding how to do sales, especially online, right? Like how to sell online is not a whole lot different than selling face to face. You know what I mean? Out there in the field. The psychology is pretty similar. You know what I mean? You still got, the principles and the foundation of sales doesn't really change depending on the field or the arena that you're in a lot. There are going to be some subtle changes, but for the most part, it's gonna pan out. And yeah, I'm going to an event today. Ultimately, I've realized that this position has. It's kind of what I anticipated it to be. There are some challenges, right? You have to have thick skin, right? You gotta have thick skin in that. And I think the biggest thing that has allowed me to really prevail and push through the adversity of sales, because sales is not, depending on what you're selling to, that always makes things interesting as well. But for the most part, sales is not. It's not about making the sale so much. That's not where my heart lies, when it comes down to this. It's about facilitating the environment to allow a sale to happen, right? Think about it. You know what I mean? Like, you can lead the whole cliche statement, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Again, it's a cliche statement. That's a very black and white version of that. Obviously, if you break that out, there's things you could do to add more detail to that statement that will ultimately, change the outcome of that. But that's a pretty solid way to look at things, right? You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like, you could lead, a person to a sale, but you can't make them buy, right? They have to choose to buy, right? They have to choose to buy. And you cannot control whether they buy or not. You can facilitate a buying environment, right? Like, you can control the things that you have within your control. Like, say you're trying to sell a piece of equipment. Do you want to have it all dirty and rusted and just looking all, busted up? Or do you want to have the piece of equipment, nice and clean and shiny and look in top shape, right? Obviously, if someone's coming around and they look at it, immediately they're going to go, hey, they take care of this equipment. So that's already going to give you an edge, right, if you will, in facilitating the sale and making that happen, right? Them choosing to buy, whoever that buyer may be. And that's really what it comes down to. I don't beat myself up when someone doesn't buy something. However, where I will kind of, kick myself is if I'm not creating those buyer experiences, right? I'm not creating you got to ask people for the money. You got to ask. You got to say, hey, this is the cost for this. Are you ready to buy this? Would you like to buy this, right? You got to ask that question. It may not be the easiest question to ask, right? When you ask people for money, but you got to believe in what you're selling, right? You really do. I think truth be told, if you don't believe in what you're selling, you don't believe in the value that it brings, it's very difficult to make sales. You can still do it, but people are going to see through you if you're trying to sell something that you don't truly believe in. You know what I mean? Like, you really want to know the product. You want to understand the benefits of the product, even the downsides of the product. You want to understand all those things. All those things are important, because when really, like, again, to facilitate a sale, you want to have just about every answer to all the questions that are posed by the buyer, right? Anybody who's buying something, I mean, depending on the price, right? If it's something real cheap, usually the lesser the price, the lesser the questions, you know? The higher the price, the more the questions are, right? Because when a sale's made and a deal is done, a deal, by the way, is a sale and a deal when you combine those two words together. I do that often. I need to make my own lingo. You know what I mean? I should totally make my own lingo. But yeah, when a deal is done, you know, it's very hard to, especially if something needs to be shipped to like another state, right? Heck, to even another country, and they get it. It's really hard at that point to go, oh, well, I don't want it, take it back, right? You know what I mean? Even if you have to do that, which it happens here and there, right? That kind of stuff does happen. Obviously, the shipping company is like, well, that's fine, but we're going to charge you the same rate or whatever. It could be even higher at that point to ship it back, right? So the shipping company makes out. So if you're in the business of shipping, man, that's a good business right there. That's like job security, because people are, you know, look at like, if you look at Amazon, just Amazon alone. I mean, there is so much more than Amazon, but just Amazon alone, the amount of shipping that they have to do to get these real products into people's hands, it's not slowing down. If anything, it's ramping up. I mean, people are seeing the writing on the wall and realizing that. I mean, I just had a buddy of mine, I don't like to put names out there, but, you know, a friend of mine that just showed me like the numbers. He said, hey, I just ordered these tires on eBay, right? And they're cheaper to buy them, have them shipped here, than to buy them locally, you know, in the current, you know, state that that person's living in, right? It's like, wow, that's wild, you know? It's like that. I mean, why not? Why not save some money and just get them shipped here? You know what I mean? And that's the crazy part, is that the costs could be cheaper even with shipping tacked on than actually having them here locally. But then again, for those tires to get here locally, they also had to be purchased, right? So that's another factor to consider. Anyway, I'm trying to keep these videos, you know, relatively short still, purposely, because obviously, like, the uploading times are gonna be better, and you know, I'm still trying to find my my calling, if you will. I think I found it. I feel really good about it, to be honest with you. And I think that these videos are actually a test. To be honest with you, these videos are more for me than they are for you. You know, it's selfish, like just about anything in the, you know, this world. If you're watching these videos, you're really watching them for you, right? I mean, if you think about it, if anybody's tuning in, they're like, what can I get out of this, right? What can I take away from these videos, right? Any video you watch, any kind of content that's consumed, you want to get something out of it, right? There's an intrinsic value that you're looking to get out of it. And yeah, that's kind of what it is I'm using this road to 100 videos just to see what I talk about. Like, when I get on, I have no set agenda. I mean, sometimes I have an idea that pops in my head and I'm like, ooh, I really want to talk about this. And I will actually talk about it. But still, if the idea was there, it's because I had an affinity to choose the idea, first and foremost. And then, you know, I elaborated on it further in a video. And if I continue to speak towards that, then obviously I must have some kind of interest in it. You know, why would I be talking about things that I'm not interested in, right? On a live camera like this. So after 100 videos, what my plan is I'm going to kind of go through, probably not going to watch all of them, right? But I'll probably watch a few of them and just kind of see where the topics lie, right? Where are the directions of my conversations going? And if I see that and I view it, I'll go, okay, that's what I'm going to make a course on. That's what I'm going to talk about. That's what I must be relatively good at. Even if I'm not good at it necessarily, I have a passion for it. And if you can combine, you know, those few factors together, the outcome will be other people in alignment or not in alignment with what you like or don't like, right? And they're going to stick around, right? I mean, that's it. If you look at YouTube and people who subscribe to your channel, that's pretty much the basic premise behind it. So yeah, I think I'll leave you with that right there. You know, that's kind of my intention behind why I'm creating the videos and all that good stuff that comes with it. And I didn't talk about the weather today. Look at that. You know, probably because I'm in a different environment. That's another thing too I'll kind of leave you guys with, is I'm in a different environment right now. I'm in town. Meaning I'm in Honolulu, which is, I'm actually heading into Waikiki, believe it or not. And it's kind of nuts to drive into town. You know what I mean? So if I haven't been looking at the camera, it's because you got to be really on it when you're in town. Because it's like a really mild version of New York, most likely. I haven't been to New York, but I've heard about New York. And yeah, it's just like a mild version of New York. Still, it has some similarities to it. So you gotta really pay attention when you're over here. So I'm gonna round out with that and take away what you can take away from it. There might have been a few takeaways, a few nuggets, hopefully, that you got from it. Either way, I'm still doing this. I'm still sticking with it. I'm chugging along. And again, you know, I kind of gave my reasons why. You know, I'm sticking to this. You know, so there's some selfish reasons behind it. But ultimately, it is to really help people. And I want to be able to really, truly help people and be passionate about it, because people feel that. Right? So you gotta find yourself. This is me finding myself and what I want to do. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing, because when you do something like this, you're live and you gotta produce something, right? You can't just sit here and look at the camera and not say anything, right? Because no one's gonna tune into that. Maybe they will. There's some pretty odd videos out there that go viral, and you know, it trips me out. But hey, everybody's got their own flavor, right? Okay, I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you on the next one. Aloha.